All eyes are on our leaders this week. So for answers to find out how Americans are reacting, Lee Carter joins us. She's with Maslansky and Partners and gives us some results from some focus groups you guys have been conducting. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yesterday, in the noon hour, the President of the United States went on television to talk about James Foley. Watch this.
Jim Foley's life stands in stark contrast to his killers. Let's be clear about ISIL. They have rampaged across cities and villages, killing innocent, unarmed civilians in cowardly acts of violence.
All right, Lee, so you had a focus group last night. What did Americans tell you about the way the president presented that message?
You know, I think what they said is that they responded really favorably to what he had to say. First, he was respectful of the family. Right. Second, he showed that this was an intolerable act that was a terrible, terrible tragedy. And third, he said he was going to act. So I think the American people gave him an A, but I think what all eyes are going to be on what he's going to do today, because people
Right.
want a really strong strike and a really strong response from him now.
All right. Meanwhile, some of the biggest headlines of the week have been out of Ferguson, Missouri, where there have been essentially riots at night. Governor Jay Nixon made this statement, and we're going to play it and then get Lee's reaction. Listen to this.
Yeah, all of us were thunderstruck by the pictures we saw. I mean, the over militarization, the MRAPs rolling in, the guns pointed at kids in the street. All of that, I think, instead of ratcheting down, brought emotion up, and that's why I made the unique decision to bring in our highway patrol, to have a local leader, Captain Johnson, from that community, in that community, which he has been.
Okay, so you've got the dials there. The Democrats had a higher reaction. They were the blue line. The red line were people who were more conservative. What did your focus groups tell you?
Well, what people said is that, ho-hum, he seems like an armchair quarterback. The fact that he's talking about how he watched the images make him seem totally out of touch, like he's doing it from the governor's mansion, that he's not on the ground. The only thing that they responded favorably to was the fact that he had a local community leader that was going to be involved in the community, and the hero of that is Captain Johnson.
Okay, and the grade you give him?
I would only give him a C.
All right. All right, so he is a governor. He's a Democrat. Let's now go to a Republican governor, the great state of Texas. We're talking about Rick Perry. The news this week that he was indicted after he had threatened to veto $7 million worth of funding for a public integrity unit unless the district attorney resigned. He felt she shouldn't be in charge of it because she had been convicted of drunk driving. She was super drunk at the time, 3 times the legal limit. Nonetheless, after the indictment, he went on TV and defended the veto.
I wholeheartedly and unequivocally stand behind my veto, and I'll continue to defend this lawful action. We don't settle political differences with indictments in this country.
And that's probably true.
No, absolutely. I mean, there's obviously a huge divide on party lines. Democrats totally agree with what they're, the suit. Republicans say it's a witch hunt. But the bottom line is they agreed on 2 things. Number one, they agree that he is framing it in positive terms and he's defending his position and he seems really strong about it. But number 2, they say he should just stop talking about the partisan divide and how this is an attack on him, because that just makes him part of the problem. So what people are saying is that I think he's handling this in a really good way and that he's as well as he can be, and they like that he's strong on his position.
All right, so what kind of a grade would you give?
I'd give him a B-, only because this is such a tough position and it's really hard to come around.
All right, this has been a fair and balanced segment. We had an A, a B, and a C.
Yeah.
All right, Lee Carter from Maslansky and Partners, thank you very much.